Have you ever wanted to fly up into space and fight over resources? Well, lucky you, now you can do that. In the game Hyperwars. This game is super fast. It plays out around 10 to 15 minutes. The player's turn takes exactly 5 minutes to complete. You will put a timer and you will try to do everything you can to get as many scores as possible. The player with the most scores at the end of the game is the winner. In this video, I'm going to show you the setup of this game. I'm going to give you an overview of the game, but also go through the rules. So once you have watched this video, well, you are ready to fly up in space and fight for resources. This is the setup of the game if you are playing level number 5. In this game there are 5 different difficulty levels. I'm gonna show you number 5 in this video because here we use all of the components. Each player starts by taking 10 agent meeples of their chosen color and put in front of them. Then each player takes an empty bag. Now we need to fill this up. First we start by taking 3 blue cubes, 3 red cubes, and 3 white cubes. Each player is also dealt 3 action cards. 1 produce, 1 deploy, and 1 deliver. These cards should not have the red edge around them. They should look like this. Then each player gets a district in front of them. This whole tile is 1 district, and the small tiles are areas. If this is a 1 to 4 player game, we will be using this side. But if we are playing a 5 player game, we use this side with 5 areas. In the middle of the district, we need to randomly place 1 objective card. In the middle of the gaming area, we have the action deck that has been shuffled real good. We have the weapon cubes, the computer virus cubes, the blue cybernetic implant cubes, and the white cloning matrix cubes. Next to that area we have the orange biohacking unicubes and 8 clone meeples. We also have some tiles around the resource cubes. One pile is the weapon pile and the other one is the improvement pile. These come in different colors, corresponding to the resources, and should be placed in easy reach to the different resources, meaning green tiles next to the green, blue next to the blue, and so on. The attack tile should be faced down, and the improvement tiles should be faced up. The last thing we need to do is that each player needs to put out 1 of their agents in an area on a district. Now we're ready to play. So this game does not have any turns. There's no starting player, there's no finishing player, there's no going around the table in turn order. No, this game is played out simultaneously. All players will use their action cards to do different actions and put out their little meeples on the different districts and areas, but also gaining little resources and hopefully getting some improvement tiles. Like I said, this game moves really fast, and the player's turn only takes 5 minutes, which is why you need a little timer. You need to put this timer on 5 minutes, and when everybody is ready to go, we start the game. This game is played out during 2 different phases. The first one here is the action phase, and this is where we will use our action cards to complete different actions. But what can you actually do in this game? Well, the first action I'm going to show you is deploy movement. The deploy/move action card will let you either deploy exactly 1 meeple or move your meeple. To deploy a meeple, you simply take your little meeple and you place it in 1 valid area. But what is a valid area? A valid area is an area in a district where you have none or 1 meeple. Meaning that if you place your first meeple on this board, you could pretty much put it in any of the empty spots. But if you already have a meeple in this district on an area, you would need to place your next meeple on the same area. Like this, for example. If another player would like to deploy a meeple in this district as well, they would also need to either take an empty spot or an area where they already have a meeple, meaning that you cannot place in the same area as another player or in a new empty area where you already have a meeple in that district. It needs to be in the area where you already have deployed. If you do not wish to deploy, you could choose to move one or more of your agents out to another valid area. Meaning that, for example, if I have 2 agents out here in this area on this district, I could take this meeple here and put it in another valid area in another district. Your little meeples can't carry things with them, but they can drop them off. They can drop off a little clone here, for example, or a resource. An area only containing clones or resources is considered to be empty. The produce action will let you, well, produce resources, and will let you take 3 resources available on the table. And you can split this up any way you like. You can take 3 red, 3 green, 3 blue, or 3 white. But you could also take 1 white, 2 green, either way you would like to. You can split that up any way you want to. The only thing you cannot is to take the orange cubes. If you, for example, want the red ones, you take 3 red cubes and then you put them in your bag. When you have taken the resources that you wanted and put them in your bag, you get to draw 3 random resources from your resource bag. You get to take them and you put them out on an area where you have at least 1 meeple. And then we have deliver. This will let you, well, deliver resources from one of your areas to another area where you have at least 1 meeple. You can move 1 or several resources if you like. When you have played a card from your hand and you have done the action on it, you take that card and you pass it to the player on your right. And then you will get a card from the player from your left. You should take this card and pick it up on your hand. But you can also choose to draw 1 card from the draw pile. This is optional and you do not need to do it, but if you like, you can do that. But we also had the cards with the red border, remember? Now, what did they do? When you play a card with the red border, you can choose to buy an attack or improvement tile instead of doing the action. If you want to do this, you need to pay resources. Of course, nothing is free in this world, right? And that goes for the universe as well. To pay for the improvement or attack tile, you need to pay 2 resources in the corresponding color as the tile. So if you, for example, would like to buy 1 green improvement tile here, you would need to pay 2 green resources. But you need to pay with resources from your areas and not from your resource bag. Meaning that if you do not have the amount of resources in any of your areas that you need to buy that tile, well, sadly you cannot buy it. But if you do have 2 resources of the corresponding color, you put those resources in the resource pile and then you take the tile. This tile is placed in front of your playing area. The improvement tiles are placed in front of the players, but the attack tiles are placed in the areas face down, where you have at least 1 agent. In this game you have 4 different types of improvement tiles and 4 different types of attack tiles, all giving you different benefits. The cloning factory will give you 2 clones immediately when you buy this, and let them place you out your clones on any of an area that you control. In the scoring phase, each of your clones will be worth 2 points instead. The security zone does not give you any effects during the gameplay, but during the scoring phase you will get to discard 2 action cards from your hand. And you can discard 2 action cards per security zone tile that you have in front of you. The biohacking lab will give you 3 orange biohacking units to put into your resource bag. If you have at least 1 AE center in front of you, you may play multiple action cards of the same type when you perform the action. You only perform the action once, but you may pass all the cards to the player on your right. The sleeper agent will let you move one clone from any other area in the same district to the area where this tile is revealed. When the hired guns are revealed, this attack tile allows the owning player to discard one of the revealed attack tiles in that district. The data leak will let you remove the objective card in this district and choose another objective to replace it. And lastly, the reinforcement will let you perform one final deploy or move action. If deploy is chosen, the agent must come from the player's reserve. If move is chosen, only agents from district not yet scored may be used. When the timer rings, the game ends, and it's time for us to calculate scores. Any player that has a face-up card in front of them needs to finish their action before we go into the scoring phase. If you have any face-down cards on your left that has been passed on from the player to your left, they need to go up on your hand. And now it's time for us to start to see how many scores we actually received. Depending on which difficult levels we have been playing in, scoring will look a little bit different, of course. But since this is a level 5 game I've shown you here, I'm going to show you level 5 scoring. The first thing we need to do is to reveal the attack tiles, and we need to place them in descending order, according to the number that is on the tile. We then need to resolve the effects on these tiles. Once we have done that, we need to count our meeple agents that we have out on the boards. First, we need to count the numbers of agents in each area of districts. Then, in order of numbers of agents in districts from higher to lower, the players attempt to fulfill the objective card. To fulfill the objective card, player must have the exact amount of resources that matches the objective card. Meaning that to fulfill this, you need to have 5 white cubes and 6 blue. If you have this amount, you have fulfilled the objectives. If you have less, you have not fulfilled the objective. If you have this but more, you have fulfilled the objective, but you will get -1 score per extra cube. The first player to fulfill the objective, meaning the player with the most agents out in this district, gets the highest score. Any other players that also fulfill the objectives will also get scores, but they will get the lower amount. Once we have completed one district, we move on to the next district. You will gain 1 victory point for every 2 orange biohacking cubes that you have out in the areas, but you will lose 1 victory point for every 2 orange biohacking cubes that you still have in your bag. You will also lose 1 victory point for every 2 cards that you still have on your hand. And that's how you play the game. The players sit down, they do their actions. When the timer beeps, it's time for us to calculate scores. Now, as I said at the beginning of this video, it is recommended for you to start at level 1. Because if you start at level 5, you will probably become quite stressed out and a bit confused. It is better that you level up slowly and actually really learn the game. Because when you know this game and you play in level 5, it is a lot of fun. It's completely chaos from time to time, and you are super stressed out because you know that that timer will soon beep. And you want to do everything you can to actually use all of your action cards, move out your little agent meeples out on the different areas, get the different objectives, move the cubes, and to get a really good grip on it, well, you need to level up. The good thing about this game is that it's quite fast, so you can play several games per night. So if you start with level 1 and then level up, you will be at level 5 in basically no time during one evening, and really get the grip of this cool, fast-paced game. That was Hyperwars for you from Fabrizio Leotti. I probably did not pronounce that right, but this game is quite cool. It is super fast. And when you play it, you will become stressed out. But that is the point of the game. This is not a game where you sit down and try to calculate a long strategy that will go through the whole game. No, this is you sitting down, quick and fast, trying to figure out what you want to do, how to get the best results, how to move your meeples around, and really just move those cards back and forward. You do not want the cards on your hand because they will cost you scores in the end, remember? You want to get your meeples out, you want to get improvements, you want to use the attack tiles, you want to do everything, but there's just not that much time to do everything. So you need to find your own strategy that works in the little amount of time you have. A good tip is to try different strategies from game to game so you really find out what you want to focus more on in the next game. And like I said, start at level 1, my friend, because you need to learn the basic to actually move up to level 5 and do everything that this game has to give you. This game will be out on Kickstarter soon. If you want to know more about it, there will be links down in the description, so check that out. That was the video. If you liked it, why not give me a thumbs up? Why not subscribe to the channel? Or just give me a comment, say hi. Are you going to check out this Kickstarter? I would love to know that. Until next time, people, please do not forget to keep on spreading that board gaming love. If you see a board sister or a board brother needing help in any kind of way, well, reach out to them and lend them your hand. Maybe you will be the reason why they start to play that specific game that they need help with. Take care of yourself, my friend. Peace.